Meanwhile, Israel's Defense Force spokesperson Libby Weiss has described the current situation in the Middle East as desperate. And this follows the Hamas militant group's attack on Israel, killing hundreds of civilians and wounding scores others. Israel has also responded with airstrikes in the Gaza Strip. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says that every place in which the militant group operates will be reduced to rubble. So for more on the latest in this situation, we cross live now to SABC News correspondent in Tel Aviv, Sarah Quotes. Sarah, good morning. Firstly, just give us a sense of what's currently happening right now. You know, one would imagine the tensions are running high, but please describe to us what it's like.
Yes, good morning. Look, they certainly are. It's set to be another heavy day of fighting overnight. The IDF says it bombed 200 Hamas targets in the Gaza Strip. It just released that statement. These are, of course, what it says are terror tunnels, weapons infrastructure, and homes of Hamas militants. Now, along with that, Hamas and the Palestinian Health Ministry is calling for safe passage out of the Gaza Strip to get humanitarian aid in and out. As you can imagine, there are a number of innocent people who have been injured, who have been killed in the Strip as a result of Hamas's actions and subsequent Israeli bombing. Now, on top of this, the US is further weighing in on this conflict. The Pentagon spokesperson, John Kirby, he spoke out saying that munitions have been delivered to Israel, and the Pentagon is currently looking at other stocks it may have there to deliver to Israel. On top of this, it's levelling a warning at Iran not to get involved in this conflict. As we know, Hamas and also Hezbollah in the north are backed by Iran. Hezbollah is thought to have thousands upon thousands of long-range, powerful Iranian-made weapons. So, of course, there's a lot of focus on the north as it stands going forward. A number of infiltration attempts overnight, with residents there in the north being told to remain in or extremely close to shelters.
Sarah, as you mentioned there have been calls, of course, for humanitarian passage, but Israel has said that it is mounting a total siege to cut off food, water, fuel supplies, gas, everything to Gaza. So at the moment, is there any sign that anyone is talking or anyone is willing to listen to what the other has to say?
Well, look, it doesn't really seem so. Hamas has said that it will not negotiate at all with Israel. Israel is vowing to wipe Hamas off the map, given this unprecedented attack we saw on Saturday, with the death toll on both sides continuing to rise. As it stands, more than 900 Israelis have been killed. The bodies are still being counted. With regards to these hostages, that is an extremely chilling situation. People here are extremely worried. Hamas came out late last night to say that for every airstrike on Gaza, one of these Israeli hostages that were taken over the weekend and are being held inside the coastal enclave would be killed. We've just heard a report, an unconfirmed report coming in also, that the IDF is preparing to tell 100 more Israeli families that their loved ones are being held there in the Strip. That would take the number of identified people who are being held by Hamas up to around 130. Their whereabouts is still unknown, with the US vowing that it will assist Israel in trying to get these hostages back. So that is a really concerning, really grave situation that Israel's being faced with, especially given this potential ground offensive that military analysts are predicting within the next 24 to 48 hours.
And just finally, Sarah, you mentioned the involvement of the US sounding a warning to Iran to stay out of this latest escalation in conflict. But is there concern that this situation may deteriorate and that other actors may come into play at this stage?
Yeah, look, certainly the US says that it certainly will not put boots on the ground. It is happy to assist Israel with military hardware and that type of thing. But of course, there's always this threat of Iran, Hezbollah and other players. There's Palestinian Islamic Jihad. That group is certainly more rogue, less organised than these other major groups. But there's certainly a lot of concern that these Iranian-backed groups like PIJ, like Hezbollah in the north, could weigh in. Yesterday, Hezbollah said it gave, the foreign minister there in Lebanon his guarantee that they would not weigh into this, but certainly said they will if antagonised. So it does remain a very fragile situation in the north, hence why these people in the north are being told to remain extremely close to shelter. Even from where we're standing over the last sort of 12 hours, there's been increased activity in the skies heading north here in Israel. So that really shows that Israel has a keen eye on the north and is really doing what it can to make sure that this area does not escalate any further.
Sarah, thanks so much for that update. And that is, of course, SABC correspondent Sarah Coates speaking to us from Tel Aviv.